meeting anyway.
Good thing that was on Friday night, because that was generally an accident.
Recording has begun. Right. Go, go, go!
Okay, hey, I got on to you guys earlier in the week about activity, and then I realized something, and I'll get to that. However, if you are on Second Life or playing another game, please be in the TeamSpeak. It gives us a good view of who's actually sitting at their computers, so that we don't have to go around and harass everybody. All right? You don't have to have your sound unmuted. You don't have to be in the main channel. If you're playing another game, everybody has the ability to make a semi-permanent channel. The TeamSpeak restarts once every 24 hours, and the semi-permanent channels go away. If you happen to be doing that while the TeamSpeak restarts, I'm sorry. But that's just when we scheduled the time, because that's usually when the TeamSpeak's the most empty. So you can make a semi-permanent channel and hang out in there if you're not on SL or you're doing something else in SL. But we need to know that you're online, because a lot of times people are showing up to raid and we don't know who's around, and it takes us 15 minutes to get a defense together, which means that there are people online, they're just not readily available to be reached. So this TeamSpeak has 32 slots. If we need more, I can buy us a license for it, or we can apply for an NPL, which brings me to my next point. My notice is cap, and a lot of other people's notice is cap. Because notice is cap, we need to start using the forums to relay information, which means that you all need to start using the forums. If you do not have a forum account, you can go into the armory. On the side of the armory that the armor is on, meaning the room to the right, there is a box that allows you to register for the forums. Once you click that box, it'll say register or reset password. If you forgot your password, you can reset your password by just clicking reset password. I don't even remember my password. Every time I want to log into the forums, I just go down there and click that box and reset my password.
I've done that twice.
What's that?
I've done it twice already.
Yeah. So we can't see your password for that, by the way. So don't be too concerned about setting a password either. We can, however, see your IP address, but I can do that in TeamSpeak too, and everything else. Alright, so I was mad at you guys about activity earlier in the week, but it turns out we're actually probably the most active group right now. We just don't idle on base as much as everybody else does. I was talking to Coercion when they raided yesterday, which was not a very well-organized raid on their part. We kind of demolished them, and Rome came later in the day, and we just absolutely... The raids were boring, and I was kind of sad because I felt like Coercion was the only group that might actually be able to beat us and capture the flag, and they didn't even participate in it. One of their guys managed to go for the flag, and they had enough guys to where they really could have put up a fight. We do have a capture the flag system right now. I do want to encourage you guys to spend more time on base, because we are the most active group. In terms of, I mean, look at how many people we managed to get on this quick just because of a meeting. You know what I mean? But our traffic is, we're 5th in the traffic charts. We should be 1st. Yes, Sarah, it's fixed with the bugs before. There's some features we want to add, but it does work now. And I'll explain the CTF system after that. Like I said, you guys just need to be in TeamSpeak so we know you're here. Those of you that are NCOs and up, you need to be leading raids. I don't really care about recruiting. We've kind of reached the point where we have enough members to always be coordinated during a raid. If we get bigger than the 60 people that we have right now, we're going to run into a lot of problems with coordination, and we're going to end up like basically how Coercion was when they were attacking us yesterday. I hope that Coercion fixes that, because they used to be one of the well-coordinated forces that we fought against. And maybe that was just a one-time thing, and they'll show up today or tomorrow and like piss us off by being a pain in the ass, which is more fun than being boring to fight, in my opinion. KPC put up a pretty good fight when we first tested the objective system, which was good. If you guys want to go on a raid, you can use the raid tracker to get corruption. Oh my god, those fucking chat bots are distracting. Yeah.
Don't worry, they're not showing up in the video.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, if you guys are NCO and up, you have access to the raid tracker. Take people out on a raid. Straylock, they just opened, sort of. there's damage on in their sim, and they allow people to attack. They're a fun group to fight. You can always go to New Jesse. We're gonna try to talk Kane into letting us make some objectives for him because he asked Minus to make a sign for him. That being said, we're going to be adding more objectives to the sim and a voting system later on for people to vote on what objectives they want to do. There's also another HUD update in the works. It'll probably be out sometime between now and August because it's not super important. It just has some cool stuff like this. I'll show you. It's a new deployable placement thing that breaks in lag. Woo! And then you can pick it up and move it again. See?
Hang on, I was recording the flag stands. Let me go back to you so you can show for the video.
Oh, okay. And then since other people do watch these, I'll explain the
Okay,
flags.
do the woo.
Woo, look at that. Oh, and then I can pick it back up. You can get over here, Ricky. I'm going to orbit you with this thing. Where'd you
So
go?
it's easier to do our normal combat doctrine, which is pushing a defensive line all the way up to the enemy base.
Yeah, and you can rotate them. You see that?
So we could like walk around with our deployables and put them down when we see bullets, and then pick them back up when they die.
No, we will be making sure that that's not possible.
Okay.
Okay. Right now it is though, which is why I'm the only one with this HUD update besides Dread. We will be working on a sort of beta testing portion of the armory where you can get a not quite finished beta version of a weapon if you're command staff to try to help us fix, which is probably half the group now because we've kind of almost done away with rank system at that point. At this
Could we
point.
do like a beta test flag then, like for people who aren't command who can beta test or good at it, like Delhi?
Beta test flag. Yeah, we could probably do that. We'll probably add a beta testing flag to the rank sheet. Another thing with the objectives. So right now we've got capture the flag. It's 3 caps to win. You have an hour to win or lose, which is all anybody's doing lately is losing. So we might up that to 5,400 seconds if people start putting up a good fight and because KPC, we didn't get 3 caps off of them in an hour. We got 2, and it took a whole hour. Everybody else we've been beating within 10 minutes, so we might up the cap count again. For attackers' reference, both sides can return their flag after they kill the person carrying it, or the person carrying it jumps with a jump pack, or, it's fickle. Sometimes you accidentally drop it. It happens. We'll tweak it as need be. If you touch your flag, it will return to the flag stand instantly. If the flag is dropped and does not get touched by either side, it will return after 30 seconds. So 30 seconds idle, the flag returns to its stand. Otherwise, touch it and it returns immediately. That being said, when you guys are going for the flag, what you really want to do is be in position. Like, we need one group taking the flag and running it back to the stand, and another group getting ready for the flag to be captured and spinning back around and getting it, preferably from the opposite direction that the other group just came, to throw off each side, so that the people guarding the flag stand can take care of the people pursuing the people that were carrying the flag from the last cap. We're going to do a couple more game types. We're going to do assault, which is you're going to take a bomb to the attacker side base and try to plant it in their base. We're going to do single flag CTF, where there will be one flag and it'll spawn at random around the map, and it's both sides' goal to get the flag and take it back to their flag stand. And then we want to do King of the Hill, which will be a moving capture point that we'll
We can
have to
just
take.
make the flag the gold box. And
Yeah,
that'll
that's-
be our new finding your gear trial. They have to capture their gear.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. I like that. We'll talk to Dredd about it. So objectives, because we made the flag stand thing, it's a modular objective system. We can make it do just about anything. Soon the flag objective thing will soon, as in today or tomorrow. Whoever's OIC will be able to turn it on and off. Right now, I'm the only one that can turn it on and off because we're still testing it. Dredd might have added Ricky and Jacob and Sarah and stuff as admins to it, and if he didn't, I can do that in a little bit by taking the script out of it, modifying it, and putting it back in. That about covers it. Ricky is working on a undivided baseball bat weapon.
That thing.
Yeah, what thing?
I wrote it behind me.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
Minus actually already has animations for it. They're old animations, and he wants to do new ones, but right now we do have animations for it, and it'll be working soon. Zane's working on a new bolter to replace the Vasily model. Unfortunately, vehicles have kind of taken a back burner again because nobody in the SLMC wants to fight in vehicles. That being said, we will probably take the vehicles to High Fidelity and start working on them there to work on a modular vehicle system in High Fidelity. Which brings me to High Fidelity, which is... Because I think that... Did I cover everything that you wanted to bring up, Ricky?
There's a few other things.
Okay. Do you want to get those before I...
No, go ahead, because I forgot like 2 of them.
Oh, do you want to just send a notice about it later so we can wrap this up pretty quick?
Maybe.
Okay.
Actually, there's 2 that right now.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and do those, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, so sim donations. It's been only 1 or 2, or only a handful of people. Let's put it that way. Myself included, and the rest of us were not helping or pitching in. I have to remind myself, but Sarah does a pretty good job of reminding myself, but I end up forgetting anyway. But if we all literally like chipped in like $5-10 a week, it would basically pay itself. There's plenty of us. So whatever you can squeeze out and push.
$11 a month is all it takes to pay for the sim with our current active member base.
Yeah. So we need to start really getting it, because I know it sucks and we're eventually going to be in High Fidelity anyway. But
we could be here for another 2 years, though.
Yeah. We'll be here for a little bit longer. But we just need to figure out a system of payment, because it's kind of like just paying your dues to the group. If we don't have the sim, then we're basically useless.
Yeah.
The other thing is that everyone in here is solely responsible of his comms clutter. Everyone is at fault for this. So let's try to keep like during raids like R&D type shit out of the raid. I don't care if like it's kind of like so fucking boring that we can just kind of like talk about whatever because it's easily handleable. But when shit starts hitting the fan, it needs to get real tight real quick. Also, like I've been at fault for this as well. If you get salty during a fucking raid, just fucking leave. Just say I can't do this right now, and leave. There's nothing. We're not gonna like penalize you against that.
You said penal.
Anyways, yeah, like if you just get so salty during that fucking raid, just fucking leave. Go listen to fucking classical music or something, or listen during. That helps a lot.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think that's mostly all the group-oriented stuff I wanted to cover.
Okay. If you feel like you cannot leave, like it would be a hindrance upon the raid, please just mute your sound. Like, mute your microphone or something like that. Like, I understand, like, sometimes you're just having a bad day. It happens to me, you know. But don't let your bad attitude ruin a fight for the whole group, please, guys. This goes to everybody, because we're all guilty of it. I'm not calling anybody out. Every single person in here has a group that they don't like to fight, or they just get in a bad mood about something, and, you know, it's just contagious. It spreads really quick. If one person's in a bad mood about a raid, especially if it's a command staff member or somebody that's commonly not in a bad mood about a raid, it starts to spread through the whole group, and then things stop being fun, and then it's like, why are we spending all this money to do this? And I personally have been having a lot of fun lately. even if things have been a little bit smaller. So I really want to make sure that you guys realize that if you're not having fun, you can leave, and no one's going to hold it against you. So, moving forward from that, we are going to be leaving Second Life sometime in the next 24 months. We're going to be moving to High Fidelity. Hang on, I'm trying to pop my back. So what we're doing in High Fidelity right now is we're working on a first-person shooter with Second Life style control interface. It'll probably be more like Neocron's control interface, where you'll hit tab and you'll go into mouse mode, so that you can interact with your inventory or whatever, and by default you'll be in first person or third person with mouse steering and shit. High Fidelity needs a lot of work. We're just now getting used to the way that you build in High Fidelity. There's some things that we don't necessarily like about it, but because the project is open source, we can do whatever we need to do. We can make whatever tools we need to make. We have the skill set, we have the coders, we have the modelers, we have animators. Schneebly's been reading up on the JavaScript API for it. Flying has been. Dread hasn't really taken a look at it yet, but that's fine. It's super easy to learn. I've been messing with it. The wonderful thing about High Fidelity is there are an infinite number of control inputs that we can use, so that we don't need to use gesture arrays to throw grenades, so that there'll never be a delay when you want to throw a grenade again. Once we get everything working there, it'll all operate off of
be a
control.
fucking mini map.
We can make one. We can actually make one that is a camera that goes
I
up.
would prefer not.
Yeah,
Oh,
but we
well-
could. Yeah.
If it's like a deployable camera, that would.
Yeah,
be
that would be really cool. That's what I'm talking about. We can make like a deployable camera drone and stuff like that. But yeah, you can overlay cameras inside cameras and cameras everywhere, and it's really fucking cool. It's like CryEngine in that regard.
Also on the high fidelity thing, just be prepared for. Well, we will be moving assets over, but we're moving away from 40K in high fidelity.
It
No,
depends.
we need to.
Well, okay, let me explain why. The first project in High Fidelity that we're going to be working on is probably just rebuilding the sim, and we will make the armor readily available for you guys to use. Basically, the first project we're working on is a proof of concept that we can take what we do here and build it in High Fidelity. Then after that, the next project we're working on, we are moving away from 40K. We might still kind of have the theme for it and stuff like that, but we have to move away from 40K if we want to profit from the amount of work that we've done. And I realize that not all of you are content creators, and a lot of you might leave because of that. I'm sorry to say that it's just the majority of the group is content creators now. We don't make money off of probably being some of the, if not the best content creators in SL, the best group of content creators in SL. It's starting to be like running the group, because we cannot profit from the group because we're a 40K themed group, and we don't want to get sued, is becoming very, very taxing on the wallets of command staff and content creators in the group. I mean, we get commissions from other groups every once in a while, but most of the time those commissions are boring, and we could easily make a lot more money doing marketplace items and stuff like that. But then we just get lazy and complacent and don't do that. But that being said, go ahead, Ricky.
I was gonna answer Termus's question.
Yeah.
Basically, our theme would become like dark 80s sci-fi, or
Like Wasteland Raiders.
yeah, or like Blade Runner-y style stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be like we have an idea of, or kind of like a concept of like the lower tier of the sim. It'll be like a Spire City, so we will have 40K influences in it.
Yeah.
Raiders.
And then it'll be like clunky, big fucking 80 tech, and like just bullshit everywhere. And then the higher you go, the more, like, I think it had to put it Portal style, like clean plastic type stuff.
So let me explain what I have done. We're basically going to build a hive city without the 40K influence. It's going to be kind of a combination of everything that we all like. We're going to build a 2 kilometer square city, and then we're just going to build it up from there. It'll probably be 2 kilometers tall by the time we're done with it. We have 15 kilometers that we can work with in High Fidelity, before we start experiencing what's called floating point issues, where placing objects becomes kind of a pain. But we actually have 32 kilometers that we can work with before floating point issues become unmanageable. They can fix that, and we can probably work to fix that in our own server code later on. So we technically have an infinite amount of space to work with. So we want to build something really big, and then we're gonna create factions for within that city and stuff like that. But that's a lot of room for 20 people to be running around in. So we're building more of a game system there. So for the time being, what we're gonna be doing in Hi-Fi is building the framework for all those game systems that we need to combine to create the full game that we want to make in Hi-Fi. And with that being said, once that happens, we'll have like small factions showing up that are gangs and stuff like that align themselves to like one larger power that's controlled by the actual gameplay mechanics and stuff like that, so that there's no chance for favoritism or anything like that. So our ideas for factions right now are the police, the actual city administration, which would run things, pharmaceuticals, and like runners or stalkers, how stalkers and runners work in most cyberpunk situations, and then wastelanders, which would be like cannibals, kind of like Mad Max style wastelanders, who would live outside the city and periodically raid the city or try to break into the city. I'll write down a huge Google Doc for all this for anybody that's interested that wants me to help touch up the themes and things like that. The thing that we're really pushing for this is simplicity. We want to make it like how some of the, I hate to say it because I hate using this word, how some of these survival games work that don't have leveling. We don't want there to be leveling. We want you to be as powerful as your gear and how clever you might be to get in or out of a current situation or something like that. We really want to enforce player-driven narrative with this. Because if we enforce player-driven narrative, we don't have to do a lot of micromanaging of the story, which has been the huge downfall of all Second Life roleplay sims. Because they have to micromanage their own story, they're constantly doing that, and so what happens is the staff gets totally burnt out on doing that, and then they don't want to do staff things to get rid of problem players like me.
I'm totally on board with helping out with like the pharmaceuticals type companies.
Okay, cool. This will be based a lot on Face of Mankind before Face of Mankind went to shit, and Neocron, but improving upon things that
I was thinking
Neocron.
You know, as far as the pharmaceutical shit goes, you could do like some really cool stuff, like from Deus Ex with Virtual Life and Bob fucking Page.
Yeah.
See,
yeah,
that's
there's a lot of
that's
cool
another
stuff.
thing that kind of ties in with those people who aren't like content creators can be content creators just by developing lore and pitching in ideas.
The other thing is that you guys are a free Q&A team.
Yep.
That's really what it is. You guys are, yeah, you guys are a free A team.
I said TNA, but okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the thing is that without you guys, none of this stuff would ever get tested, and then Dread and I would just use broken things forever because we know how to bypass the bugs to make things work right. But because you guys don't, and you guys don't get them full perms, we actually have to fix things. So, you guys might think that you don't have a lot to contribute to a project in high fidelity, but you really do. And we'll continue to have meetings about this as time goes on and things progress. There will be kind of a virtual reality focus for high fidelity because virtual reality is really cool, but when we are done, you will not be required to have virtual reality for this. And that's the first priority, is to make sure that everybody can come in and access it and play the game. Yeah. I really encourage you guys to, if you're kind of on the fence about VR and you don't want to spend $600, $700, and you have an Android smartphone, there's a new system that came out called, to buy a headset that your phone mounts in, is basically what I'm saying. And then you can test out VR with an application for your phone called VRidge, and it uses OS VR, and it's compatible with Steam VR, so you can play around with it with your phone and stuff like that. That's currently how I'm doing VR in Hi-Fi, because my Oculus Dev Kit 2 broke, and now that I've basically just sworn off Windows for anything but making textures, I'm probably going to be switching to OS VR, which means that I have to buy a whole new headset. And if you like VR, like if you want to try it out that way, you can do VR like Steam VR with most modern smartphones because it doesn't require much because your computer's doing the rendering, your phone's just receiving the video. There's a big delay for. It's called V-Ridge on Google Play Store. And what you should do, because you have a Pixel phone, Tyro, is you should go pick up Google's Daydream thing, because the Daydream remote will work as a motion.
I actually have Google Cardboard, so I can use V-Ridge right now.
Yeah, but I would go pick up the Daydream headset if you've got the extra money for it.
Will it work with, like, will it connect to my computer and shit?
Well, when you're doing,
Fam, don't do that.
The...
I'm trying to record on YouTube, and, like, I can't do the
cat
fucking side of your fucking armor.
I'll walk you through it later. But yeah, V-Ridge is a good way for you guys to check out VR and see if you like it or not. You do need a relatively newer phone. I have a Nexus 5X that I use for V-Ridge, and then I have a Google Pixel that I use as a phone, because I can't put my work phone in a VR headset and fucking play Elite Dangerous. It doesn't work very well. Because then you get a phone call and it's like, oh, what the fuck. But yeah, I'll get you guys the info for that. If you're interested in it, just send me an IM. The reason why I had pointed this out is Nola VR just started shipping their controllers, and Nola VR is really cool. Let me go ahead and get you some links for that.
VR sounds...
And base...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It sounds really interesting, but yeah, that's definitely one of the major issues. I don't have the money, and I don't really have the space yet.
Yeah, that's really the big problem. But the thing is that I recommend getting into VR early through something like this. Maybe picking up some Nolo controllers. And then, like, slowly buy... The thing is that I would not adopt the Vive, and I would not adopt the Oculus. When OS VR is done as a project, and it will get done, it's going to support everything that those name brand peripherals support. But it's going to be modular. So if you want something like, say, like a VR rifle or something, you buy a VR rifle on Amazon. Or some shit that you plug your controllers into so that they can track it. And so, like, the Nolo VR plus the OS VR HDK2 is the same price as an Oculus with the touch controllers right now. I do not recommend you buy the OS VR HDK2. It has a bad screen door effect, and it's really only for developers. Razer will come out with an OS VR headset, and there will be plenty of other third-party headsets that are available for OS VR within the next couple years. If you really want to get into VR after you try it out with V-Ridge or something like that, I recommend getting an Oculus because the Vive is just too expensive, and the Oculus supports room scale now.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How long has Wall been upside down? Been bugging the hell out of this entire meeting.
What wall?
This wall right here I'm standing at. The windows are upside down.
Oh, Zane,
goddammit.
goddammit.
The texture, like... Yeah.
Okay, so it was Zane. Yeah.
I was
Zane,
wondering,
can you
like,
change
how
it back?
long has it been there?
Eventually I'll do it, yeah.
Okay, that pretty much concludes the meeting. Like I said, I can get you guys info for that. Also, because it's OS VR compatible, you can use it with Second Life too, with V-Ridge, so just bear in mind with that. Motion controllers are a huge pain in the ass too, so you might just want to use an Xbox controller for VR for the time being. Alright, that should be the meeting. Does anybody else have anything else to say?
Like an Xbox One controller or an Xbox
It doesn't
360
matter.
controller?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. You could use a PS4
I have an
controller for all I
Xbox
care.
360 one.
Yeah, I use a 360 controller for high fidelity. And don't buy the Razer Hydra controllers because they're garbage. Yeah.
You people who are on late at night when I am on need to be more open to going on raids.
Yeah.
I have tried to lead raids when I am on.
I know,
It's
I've
ass.
seen it. Yeah.